Hey guys, Bruce Becker back for a solid check-in of your Moeller method. Here we are in level 9. What I want to throw down is, yes, another calisthenic, but I also wanted to throw a little curveball to you, and let's do a 2-note Moeller 16th note groove as well. So we'll do 2 different kind of approaches. We'll do a pad exercise, we'll do a kid exercise. There's a tune that I'm going to ask you guys to check out. This tune is called I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald. The drummer on that is Jeff Picaro. I always recommend to my students that if you want to get a 2-note Moeller really burning and happening, this should be your gold standard. Listen to the effortless approach that Jeff puts forward on this tune.
For instance, a Mike McDonald record, I Keep Forgetting.
Remember, you can only play what you hear. So your guidance is, what are you listening to? And as you go through that process and you start to bolster and get those sounds in your head, it's going to make it easier for you to come up and play something. So the gold standard, Jeff Picaro, that 2-note Moeller, it's a great pattern. We'll just do a simpler version of it. We won't get too complicated with the bass drum, but we do want to try to bring that tempo up and see how you guys are hanging. But first and foremost, let's do a new calisthenic that will embody more diddles. So we're going to make it a diddle exercise, but there is that Moeller method in it because we're going to use the paradiddle diddle. And our transition sticking is going to be a paradiddle diddle diddle. What is that? That's a paradiddle diddle diddle. So I've got a right, left, left, right, right. That sends me automatically into the left-hand lead. So this is a great calisthenic. Again, I'm just throwing forward some good calisthenics to keep your Moeller method tuned, and you can acquire all these, keep them in your back pocket, and use them as warm-ups as you go through your drum practice routines. So let's hit the pad. We're going to hit this one at 140 BPM. Might seem a little bit fast, but remember, we want to push these things forward. This is a doable tempo, I believe. Again, as you go through your paradiddle diddles, you can always practice those amongst themselves and then add them into the mix of this exercise. Again, these are nicely superimposed, though, over 16th notes. So it does give you not only a technical challenge for the Moeller method, but a rhythmic challenge as well. Here we go, 140 BPM. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That's a great calisthenic. I use that one all the time for my students, and it is one of the higher level, what I would say, kind of Moeller-esque exercises that you can go through. Again, there's some diddles in there. There's some rhythmic challenges. All good for you guys now sitting at level 9. Now let's check into that 2-note Moeller groove on the hi-hat and see if we can kind of hang with that. Let's push it. Let's make it 90 BPM and see if we can hang. We'll make it simple. I won't get the bass drum too complicated. The overall focus would be, how's the right hand feeling? Later on, we would bring some, more values to the 16th note bass drums that you could put in there. But for right now, let's make it simple on the bass drum side, get a nice solid 2-note Moeller on the hi-hat. Just to keep everything within the lines, we will subdivide this quarter note pulse to 8th notes. So your downstrokes are going to be all those 8th notes. Now this is kind of a lickety-split tempo, so hang on to your hats and see if you can hang. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Again, I encourage you to listen carefully to tunes like that. It doesn't have to be the Michael McDonald tune, but there are great varieties of tunes that have that 16th note pattern where it's one-handed. And when you listen to it, it's like a language. You start to just embody what that is, and it starts to become accessible in your vocabulary. There are great tools where you can slow those tunes down and build up to bring it to the tempo that you want to play, but all on a timeline. Just stay steadfast to your daily chipping away and you'll see progress. So that was the final check-in for the Moeller method. I hope you stay steadfast to all your practice, stay on your path, chip away a little bit every day, and you will make solid progress. I'll look Hey, Bruce Becker here, level 9 for another technique check-in. First thing that I want to bring to your guys' attention is a little bit of an extension of what you've been doing with jazz ride cymbal time and comping. So we're going to take the jazz ride cymbal pattern. We're going to play an ostinato with the left hand. That ostinato will be the back to eighth note triplets. So my hand, right hand, left hand, and my left foot will be playing their static patterns of. Then I'm going to play the melody that you see written. So we're going to play this melody. We're going to make it an 8-bar phrase, so you'll follow along. This is exactly what we want to do. It is different each measure because we want to now start to build up a flow. So at first you might find it a little challenging to change your head up with the reading. Maybe not, but nonetheless, this is another concept to throw into your bag of tricks to develop a better sense of fluidity with what you're doing. We're going to set these at 120 BPM. So let's get that ride cymbal and left hand going at first. So here we go. 1, 2, cymbal and hat at first. Let's have the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, here's the melody. So there you go. That's a nice challenging melody. And of course, what you want to do is just play it with a fluidity, play it at the tempo that's going to bring that about. So we definitely started at 120. Okay, that's a good tempo maybe to start at. But if you're not making it there, bring it back a little bit and see how much flow you can add to what you're doing. So on the other side of the coin, let's see another check-in. This specific exercise is a patented Bruce Becker equation. So I'm going to play groups of 7, 7, 5, 5, 3, 3, and 2. Don't get put off by the number system. It's all in 4/4 time. But what we're going to play is paradiddle, 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 diddle, paradiddle, 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 diddle, paradiddle, paradiddle, diddle, paradiddle, paradiddle, diddle, paradiddle, diddle, paradiddle, diddle, paradiddle. Say that to your mom 35 times and she'll think you're nuts. Anyway. What we want to do is basically break that down and again, add this to our arsenal of calisthenics. So we're going to play that nice and easy. And we'll do that flow where it goes from the right side to the left side. As you see in the notation, it's a 4-bar phrase. Right side, and then add 4 more, it becomes an 8-bar phrase. Again, it's another exercise that you can really embark upon to build your technical arsenal and have some things in your back pocket to practice regularly to push your technique over the fence, not into the fence. So here we go. We're going to do this a little bit on the bright side so that we can get a nice flow of those paradiddles, and at this point, you should really start to see some benefit from all that you've gone through with the previous levels. So again, the aim of this check-in is to push you forward, see where you are at technically, and so we're going to push this to 140 BPM. So hang on to your hats and see if you can make it through. And again, this prescribed tempo is not always in stone. You can go through and slow it down so that you can manifest a better growth with your progress. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the Bruce Becker patented equation of 7, 7, 5, 5, 3, 3, 2. So if anybody asks you where you got that, tell them Bruce. But that's a great one. So your assignment is, again, check in regularly with that jazz ride cymbal pattern. Try to insert some different rhythmic patterns against the ostinato that I just laid out for you. This, of course, you'll have an 8-bar phrase to use, but it is in your best interest to find some other rhythmic values and potentially build it up so that you can speak that language effortlessly without relying upon any paper. The second check-in to your assignment is that 7755332. Add that to your regular arsenal of practice for your technical skills on your practice pad and see how that affects your growth with your technical skills. Bruce Becker here for another check-in. See you soon. Peace.